All right, we are back. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hopefully, this is going to clear some things up. Swipe and share as you come on in. Come on in. Swipe and share, swipe and share. We are back with the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge and Renee Easley. So come on in, come on in. I see you, Pia. I see you. I see you. If you can hear me, say you can hear me. If everything sounds good, say you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. As we go ahead and we add, if you guys can hear me, say give me a thumbs up or say you can hear me in the comments. I got my head to it. Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Do you hear background noise?
No, I do not
Praise
hear background noise. But
Jehovah.
Can you hear me now?
I can, loud and clear.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. So
thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Yes, thank you guys for coming back. Antoine Page says, "What's up, Pia?"
Hey, wagwan, twila.
Yes. You know, I tell my faithful audience each and every year, every week, and that's why I'm so thankful for them, that no matter on how stuck I get, I am unstoppable, and that's what we do here. We continue to be unstoppable. We show people how to be unstoppable. Ordinary people, they would have gave up after the first 2 times, but not Pia, Renee, and not Mr. Unstoppable. We're gonna keep this moving, and we're gonna keep this going. So Pia, real quickly, just reintroduce yourself to the audience that has come back, and then we're just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about this great music that you got out there.
Thanks. Well, as I stated before, and as Terrance so graciously introduced me, I am Pia Renee Easley. Pia Renee on the stage, Pia Easley on contracts, and all lucrative documents. I am. Hey, come on now. I am a singer, songwriter, bass player, and now unintentionally an actress who gets to play herself. So I'm excited. Go ahead, Terrance. What were you saying?
For your first part, you can't pick an easier part but yourself. How about that?
This is true.
Absolutely. So you have had a phenomenal journey, I dare say an unstoppable journey, from the little girl at a young age who knew she wanted to sing and she wanted to perform, to the person who is blessing stages across the country and now TV screens across the world with your recent performance. So tell me how it feels to be Pia Renee right now.
It feels great. It feels really, really good. And like I was saying before, in the previous broadcast that got interrupted, I'm really starting to really come into the full a bigger realization of who I am and what I'm capable of doing. And I've been reading this book called The Artist's Way. And she has
Okay.
these, well, the author is a woman. She has all of these exercises that you can engage in as a creative to kind of unblock yourself and to recognize and to really respect your nature as an artist and to really just kind of silence everything that goes around you that impedes creativity. So since then, I've really started to realize, like, man, I have a really, really big skill set and a really, really great talent and really big talent. And before I would just minimize it or, oh, let me just get this corner or this piece or this is all that I'm capable of doing or this is all I believe people will accept that I can do. And that's not the case at all. Because when I look at my wheelhouse, as consultants like to use that word, as I look at my creative wheelhouse or my musical wheelhouse, I'm really able to do a lot of things and do them well. And I'm really, really thrilled about that. So to be Pia Renee right now, I'm well, I'm thriving, I'm increasing, and abundance is like everywhere around me. And I got my buckets to catch as much as I'm allowed to carry.
Well, it sounds like your cup is clearly overflowing. So I just want to take a couple of seconds. What I do with each and every one of my guests that's on the show, I ask them the question, Pia, when you hear the word unstoppable, what does that mean to you?
Oh, well, that's funny. That's one of my old laptop's passwords. So that's funny that the word unstoppable means a lot to me, actually, and I'm glad you asked. It means, um, man, like you said, unrelenting, even in the face of your own. Um, Look in the closet upstairs. Well, look in the. Excuse me, I'm doing a domestic thing right now. Look in the laundry
Live,
basket
live,
in my
live
room.
TV.
Teenagers, baby, you gotta be ready when they ready. They like TV. They like Hollywood. Whatever
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
call, you
got
gotta
you.
be ready. But at any rate,
I got
so
you.
unstoppable basically for me means um, just that. And like to make a decision that you're gonna put one foot in front of the other, come what may, go what may, and who may. Like I've been on this journey musically for a long time, and there was a point in time, you wouldn't know this now, but I could not sing in front of a group of people without literally like this. Literally, somebody would have to hold
Yeah,
my hand in order for me to get through a song in church. Or when I was little, because of course I grew up in church and I sang in church, I would intentionally mess the song up because I felt like people were gonna make fun of me and laugh at me. So I would intentionally mess the song up. So I developed this thing where I would forget the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, I want to know, but I had this toxic shame about my abilities that caused me to just really have to surmount some things internally. So when you say unstoppable and what that means to me, it's to be a little girl who's so self-esteem is so fragmented, so not properly developed or nurtured that I would intentionally sabotage myself as a kid. And then I got so fearful that as a teenager, when I had the opportunity to sing, I had to have somebody hold my hand to calm me down while I tremble vocally through this song, to being on American Idol, to being invited to for a private audition to The Voice, for a private audition for The Four, to being on Empire, to singing in front of over 30,000 people in Ethiopia multiple times. So that's what it means for me to be unstoppable, to know, hey, this is what I have. I didn't ask for this. I'm good at it. Even though I suck at communicating it in the past, I got to keep pushing in this until I get to where this thing that's in me, until it feels satisfied. And I don't want to say, oh, I did that. I pushed, I pressed. I give God all the credit. And I thank the universe,
absolutely.
God, whatever you want to term it as, and however it's intimate to you, for getting me to this place. My grandmother was, she wanted to be a musician. She was like me, a left-handed Sagittarius. So I feel like I've been endowed. I feel like I've been that endowed with my grandmother's abilities that she didn't get to express. Like my grandmother wanted to play guitar. She was left-handed. She could sing, but in her day, her mom told her that's the devil's music. You can't sing the blues, because the blues was popping in her day. You can't sing the blues. That's the devil's music. So
Absolutely.
because she knew she wanted to sing and play music, she wouldn't get her a guitar. And it could have been some monetary reasons behind that as well. But my grandmother, in turn, one day she said she was leaving the outhouse, and she dropped her pocketbook. And when she went down to pick it up, a man picked it up and handed it to her. And when she looked at him, she was looking eye to eye with Muddy Waters. And she said, I wanted to run away with that man so bad. And just for her to have that
Mm,
moment, and when she talked about it, she lit up. But she
yes.
didn't run away with him. I'm glad she didn't, because I may not have been here. Oh, my granddaddy, our whole gene pool would have been totally different. But she didn't get a
Right,
chance
right,
to
right,
express her
right.
abilities. And I didn't know my grandmother could sing until one day I was standing we have this two flat in our family. So at the top of the second floor, at the top of the stairs, is this huge mirror. So we were always, as kids, stand in front of that mirror and singing the broomstick. So
Perform.
one day I was
Okay.
standing in front of that mirror thinking nobody could hear me singing the Black National Anthem as loud as I could. So my grandmother was actually at the bottom of the stairwell in the basement. And after I stopped singing and I was just standing there, she started singing the song too. And two things happened.
Wow.
One, I was terrified because I knew my grandma heard me. Like, oh shit, Granny heard me singing. Oh, like, why is that a bad thing? But for whatever reason, I was terrified by that. And then I realized my grandmother can sing. I never knew that. And my mom tells me that when I was a baby, my grandma used to sing this song, Lura, Lura, Lura.
While you was
She
in
used
the
to sing,
womb,
no,
huh?
when I was a baby, she would sing that to me. And in fact, my name Pia actually comes from the singer who was popular in the 80s, Pia Zadora. So my grandmother, not
Okay.
that she liked her music, but she saw the name and she loved the name Pia. Otherwise, my mama was going to name me after my grandmother. My grandmother's name was Goldie. I love my grandma, but I'm glad I don't have her name.
Yeah, yeah. Goldie Renee. Yeah.
Goldie, oh, my mother is horrible with naming children, but my grandmother, and it's so funny. This is how much my grandma loved music. I have an uncle named Ray Charles Easley. My name is Pia. And then I have a sister whose middle name is Eliza, like Liza Minnelli. So this is how much my grandmother
Like
loved me. Not to say that
love the
again, she was
music.
naming us intentionally. Maybe Ray Charles, maybe my uncle definitely was. You can't get away from that. But for us to have these names that are connected to musical people just goes to show how innate my grandmother's love for music was. So again, to answer your question regarding being unstoppable, it's beyond just, oh, I can sing. I want to sing, mama. I want to be rich and famous. I have my grandmother's abilities that I'm the only, literally out of all the grandkids, I'm the only one that sings out of all my mama's kids. I got brothers and that could carry a tune and my sisters can, but they don't care nothing about music like that. So to me, it's like a sacred divine trust to actually live this thing out and make it push it to the highest of what it can be. Because my grandma, it's an honor to me that my grandmother didn't get to do it, but I've been entrusted with the ability as she was, and I have the tools to do it. So I really take it seriously because I want to honor my grandmother in that way and honor my familial gifts, because every family has a gift that they carry, or these abilities and these talents.
Yes.
And while I don't have, like, all my siblings can't sing, and my mama definitely can't sing, and some of my aunties and uncles can't sing like that, I'm grateful for that connection, to have that connection to my grandmother in that way. So that's what it means for me to be unstoppable. Ta-da.
Well, you have actually answered two questions in one. As you guys, you're watching the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge and our guest, the phenomenal Pia Renee Easley, here on Facebook Live. The second question I was about to ask you that you already answered is, what are you thankful for, as we talk about Thankful Tuesday? And it's clear that you are thankful for your grandmother.
Mhm.
But expound upon it. What are you thankful for with everything that's going on in your life right now?
To be where I'm at, like, I come from, and to have the experiences I have, like, and to have the life that I have. I am a West Side girl, and I didn't grow up listening to world music, to reggae music. We listened to James Brown, whoever the dude was that, if you want to ride, you ride the white horse. We listened to that. Listen, we had that on vinyl, and we used to have dance contests off that song, that and Doodle Brown
Mm-hmm.
by Luke. That was the neighborhood. That's when Granny was in the back and she wasn't looking. Then we danced off Doodle Brown.
Yeah, yeah, way in the back.
That's when Granny wasn't nowhere in sight. She couldn't see us, like, popping,
Okay.
trying to out pop each other. But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
dropping it,
Yeah,
right?
I'm grateful to come from, like, I witnessed one of my good friends I grew up with. I witnessed her get murdered at 13. We had just graduated 8th grade. The summer after we graduated 8th grade, I witnessed her get murdered. And I've been in situations where, in close quarters, with people getting shot or shot at or shot around me in the beauty shop, standing on the corner talking to, like, an old childhood boyfriend. And I'm standing here talking to him, and somebody run from behind me, start shooting at him. And I'm frozen. Like, I've had those instances happen to me
Yeah.
in my life. And, I was a teen mom. I had my first child at 16 and my second child at 18. And I graduated, some people in my family were surprised I graduated high school on time. And in my mind, it's like, what else was I supposed to
Wow.
do? So to be cut from those Brenda's Got a Baby type of circumstances, the video montage, um, to go travel the world and to sing reggae and to sing world music, which is basically pop sang in another language, to sing that, to go on American Idol, to have all of these experiences as an artist and as a creative.
Yeah, that phone call came through and it kicked you out. So we may have you pop out and pop back in because now I can't hear you. So yeah, that phone call did it. Pop out, pop back in, and what back. She's doing that. We're gonna play another one of her songs from the album The Return, where you can get it at piarenee.com. You can also find it on iTunes. You can also find it on CD Baby. But this song is the Freedom Song, and I love some of the words.
Okay, sorry. I'm
All
back. I'm
right,
sorry, y'all.
mic check, mic check. So we're listening to the Freedom Song from the album The Return by Pia Renee. Welcome back to the Unstoppable Story Show. Lucinda Smith is watching. Rister Bless Mom is watching. That's my girl from Kenya. Nia Raj is watching us. She is from the motherland as well. Michael Freeland, good evening to you. Sasha Perez says, "Hey, Pia." So shout out to everybody who's watching. Kat Dawn from Hope, Dawn of Hope. She is
Hey,
watching us, and
Sasha.
you were talking about fear earlier, and Kat Dawn said bulldoze the F out of fear.
Yes.
I would say it, but we got some kids that are watching the show. You read the comments and you know exactly what Kat said. So shout out to Kat for joining us. But you were talking about everything that you saw being on the mighty west side of Chicago at a young age, and also being a teen parent. You mentioned in your bio that you went through some things that kind of took the ability to further your passion as an artist away during your teenage years, and it wasn't until 23 that you had the opportunity to circle back.
Mhm.
So, two questions. What did it feel like not having the music, or not really being able to express yourself musically as a teenager? And then how did it feel at 23 when the opportunity came back to you?
Well, as a teenager, that's when I went through that awkward phase of reaching for it, and I was really fearful and scared, and doing things like sneaking in like lounges to sing with groups. But then when it's time for us to sing, like I would not utter a word. Nothing would come out, and then everybody would be like, "Boo!" Her in the back with the big ponytail, "Boo!" which made it worse. Um, um, so I was finding my way. I was young, dealing with I was a young girl, but dealing with grown men, that type of, effed up circumstances
Yeah,
where you like
yeah,
14 with a 38-year-old boyfriend, which was real fucked up. But that's what it was at that time in my
yeah.
life. And so, when I got older, when I started going to actually, okay, how did this happen? Like one day I was praying and I was asking God to show me who I was. And I remember and there's a story in the Bible where Jesus was in the temple and he like opened the Bible and he read a passage about himself in the Bible. Like, I've come to heal the brokenhearted and mend the brokenhearted and give sight to the blind, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, God, if you can show Jesus who he is in the Bible, show me. So I was praying about
Who
this. And
you are.
then, yeah, one day I opened up the Bible to Ezekiel 33 when he talked about like, you will be known as one who sings love songs with a beautiful voice, who plays an instrument well. But when what you have said comes to pass, they will know that a prophet has been among them. So I was looking at the fact of, okay, I'm supposed to play an instrument. And I knew at the time I did not want to guitar. And at that time, I have no cognizance of what's beginner, intermediate, or advanced learning material. So I go to Guitar Center and buy all advanced guitar books, not knowing what they were. So I go home, open these books up. I don't know nothing. I had no understanding of it. I cried like a baby. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't understand music. I'm supposed to do this. So one day I was like, I'm gonna find a class. So I get on the train, I go down to Harold Washington College on State and Lake. I walk inside the school, I'm nervous. I don't know what to do, I'm scared. Why? I was just so scared of everything. But anyway, I walk up to the security guard. I'm like, hey, do you guys have guitar classes? And he's like, you're going to have to look in that book. I don't know nothing about a college book, a course catalog. I don't know nothing about it. So I walk over there, get a book, I leave, and I felt so defeated because I'm like, I don't even know what to do. And I felt like if I had more understanding of what to ask for, I could have got help. So I leave the building. As I'm walking out the school, I see a man walking past with a guitar on his back. I chased this man down like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can find a guitar class? He stepped back and looked at me up and down. He's like, guitar? Don't play no guitar, play bass. I was like, well, what's the difference? What's the difference? Like, yeah, I said, what's the difference? He was like, then he unzipped his gig bag. He showed me, he said, this bass got 5 strings, but you can get one with 4 strings. Some people got them with 6. He's like, and then I was like, well, can you please teach me? And that's when I got my first bass teacher. And I started, then I went back to the school. I enrolled in the music program. I started taking vocal lessons for, like, I'm classically trained vocally. I wanted to learn how to play upright bass, but because I'm left-handed, the teacher that I had at the time told me if my goal was to play in orchestra, I would have to learn how to play right-handed. I'm like, F that, I ain't playing this. I quit. Now, I wish I wouldn't have done that either. I wish I wouldn't have done that either because I would have had like the skill set of upright bass under my belt, but I still would have learned it left-handed. But everything happens the way it's supposed to, and then it's time. So, yeah. And to be honest, the first guitar I ever picked up was a bass. And it's funny, this is how I learned how I play left-handed, because my daughter's grandfather, her paternal grandfather, plays bass guitar. And he had a 4-string in his house, and I picked it up and I turned it upside down and I was playing with it. So the first guitar I ever picked up was my daughter's grandfather's bass. So everything comes full circle like it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm gonna give the floor back to you because I'm gonna start talking about a bunch of stuff that may not be.
And that is absolutely fine. You guys, you're watching the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. I keep looking at the other camera, because I'm so used to my studio setup. But of course, my computer decided to crash. So let me just look down here at the phone. But Pia, and I didn't even know your story in such detail as you're telling it right now, but your story is the epitome of being unstoppable. And here's the one thing I know. No matter what you go through in life, your gift will make room for you.
Mm-hmm. True.
No matter who tries to stop you, no matter what type of obstacles get in your way, no matter how your self-esteem tells you not to do it, your gift was placed inside of you by God. And it was placed deep down inside because there had to be some nurturing that had to take place. There had to be some growing that had to take place. Life had to throw some dirt on you to fertilize that seed. Life had to throw some water in your face so that you learn about rejection, so that you know how to walk through that rejection to get you to the place where you are right now, where you're performing in front of thousands of people on stage, and you're performing in front of millions of people on TV, and you're getting compliments. 2007, I just trip when I see that video. 2007, your American Idol audition, where most of those auditions turned out to be the blooper reel on the show.
Yes.
Especially from Simon. Simon gives you the ultimate accolade of saying that there is something about you that he liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw that video, I just imagine if she had taken that golden ticket and she worked her way all the way through to the finals. Imagine if we could sit here and say the American Idol Pia Renee.
Yeah, I'm gonna interject right here, and I'm gonna give it back to you. 2 things. One, My timer is probably gonna pop back in at some point because I hit the wrong button. I hit a 15-minute snooze and I should have just hit ignore. So there may be a period when I gotta bounce out and bounce back in. But two, I'm glad I didn't go. I'm glad I didn't win at that time of my life because I would have. I would have probably lost my mind and lost my soul and lost my body. And I at that point in my life, I would have did anything to be famous. And I don't, and I don't have no qualms in admitting that. Anything, I would have done it. And I didn't care about money. I didn't care about being wealthy and being smart about business. I just wanted to be famous. And that's dangerous.
Absolutely.
And I'm very bold. I'm extreme. And you can really see it at that point in my life. That was my Grace Jones 2.0 phase. So you can really see I was about it, baby. I would have, man.
I was like,
I'd have done
that's
it.
That's not the P of Renee I know. Woo,
baby,
Lord.
I was rough. And
I'm gonna bounce right on that point because I was about to say I'm so glad you didn't take that journey because your journey is unique. And the one thing, nothing against American Idol, nothing against The Voice, but when you get on those shows and when you win on those shows, you are set in a trajectory that may not always be your own. And sometimes to really flourish in your own thing, you gotta go your own way. And so God saw that. He gave you the possibilities by being in front of the American Idol. But as soon as he gave you the possibilities, then he gave you the provision to do it the way you wanted to do it. And I'm so glad that happened to you at that time in your life because otherwise I probably wouldn't have got a chance to meet you a couple of months ago and have you on the Unstoppable Story Show now.
True.
And I really appreciate you. So I want to do this because you told me about the timer. I want to talk about the CD. And you know my favorite song because you sung it to me a couple of months ago, and I still appreciate that. And you didn't know it was for me, but you sung it for me, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But the album is called The Return. Why is it called The Return?
Well, it's called The Return because I had taken about 5 years before I started working on music again. I had got really heavy into church, and I got so heavy into church that if leaving music alone in that way would have been what was required of me, of God, I would have done that. And that's, at that time, I thought that's what I had to do. I felt like, I have to be a praise and worship leader. I can't do music like this, and and the music that I created out of that mentality, I didn't feel like was all me. And it wasn't. It was me trying to live up to the ideals that I was being taught without really respecting and honoring my individuality within that community and within that belief, within that belief system, within faith. I'm saying belief system like it was a cult. But so the return is, I'm back. This is what I'm built for. This is what I'm called to. This is what my significance is in, and I'm here. And I don't have to, because I'm a musician and I'm not exactly sitting behind the tithe table, doesn't mean what I'm doing is wrong. It doesn't mean that it's unnecessary. It doesn't mean that I'm at odds with Christ because this is what I do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's what it is. Like, and every song on The Return, I 100% fully feel attached to and feel that it's a true expression of who I am. Whereas in times past, when I did my album Enmity in 2011, it was just me like trying to champion, trying to be myself and still champion being a good Christian. And that has its place. But at the same time, it was just a path. It was growth that I had to experience to know that you can still believe in God, believe in the Lord, respect and honor the Lord, and still do your thing and do it well. Like, nobody's mad at teachers that punch the clock for CPS every day and also teach Sunday school. Nobody's tripping about that, but they give us musicians a hard time. And I understand, I get it, because, angels had no flesh and they saw God face to face every day, yet Lucifer caused the third of them to fall because of music. So I get the stigma, but at the same time, there has to be a balance in it. So back to you, Terrance.
And absolutely. And many people fail to realize that the true ministry of the church is beyond the four walls of the church. And your music is a ministry. Your music is changing lives in a way that people can't get changed if they worship. So I appreciate, respect you for going out on your own. And as she said, that timer kicked in, and we're going to hope that she can come right back in and we can keep this conversation moving. So thank you guys for continuing to watch the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge, with our special guest on this thankful Tuesday in November, Pia Renee Easley. Her CD is called The Return. You can get it on her website at piarenee.com. You can also get it on CD, baby. And mic check, because I want to make sure we can hear you. Yeah, no volume. All right. So while she's doing that, she's got 5 songs on this CD that you really just got to listen to. And let me tell you some of the names of the song. The Return, which is the title track. Mr., which is the track that we're going to play next. Freedom Song, Terrified, and No. And as we try to bring her back in, let's mic check. And then I just want to play a little bit of the song from the album The Return by Pia Renee. We're going to try to sing the track called Mr., but we are trying to see if we can bring her back. All right, it's taking a little bit longer, so let's just play a little bit while we wait for her to come in. This is called Mr. You look like a hologram. Do you even give a damn? Baby, let me make it clear. I'm up out of here. Treating me like a leaf to be. Got me crying, begging, please. What you want from me? Disappointment is crushing me. Situation is going south. If you feeling it, give us some love, give us some hearts, give us some likes. Let her know that it sounded good to you. Yeah, that's Mr. off the track The Return by Pia Renee. And this next song called Freedom Song. Let's hear a little bit of that. I'm a Renaissance woman, they hate to see me coming, they'd rather see me bombing, but as she keeps slumming, come for me, I'll have it running, while I sing and humming, don't be deceived, don't need your loving, won't let you lead my introduction, follow my lead in the discussion, you can have beef with tea and crumpets, into the room to beats and trumpets, you watching me, your moves plumbing, I'm on your mind, the house haunted, call it self-retarded, got what you need and what you wanted, I'm on my G and I'm flawless. I know frustration gone, my freedom song. I know. All right, yes, indeed. That is Pia Renee on the Unstoppable Story Show. That song is called Freedom Song. Thank you, guys. I am trying to bring you in. It's got you added, Pia. I think it might be something either with your Wi-Fi or my Wi-Fi that is acting up right now. Again, Just another example of the Lucifer, as you just mentioned earlier. And maybe that's what happened. You mentioned Lucifer, and now we're in this situation where we can't bring you back in. Yes, indeed. Michael says she likes the style. It's smooth. It's smooth. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for sharing. Thank Arlene. Arlene, what did you think about it? Did you like those songs? Are you gonna go get you a copy of the uh, the title track, The Return, now that you got a chance to listen to a little bit of it? Just give those comments in the comments what you think about it. If you're going to go buy your copy right now of The Return by Pia Renee, you can get it at piarenee.com. That's piarenee.com as we continue to try to bring her back in. And then we can close this out. I appreciate you guys for sticking and staying with us, and hopefully you will get value out of this show, because this is what we do at the Unstoppable Story Show. We talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories, and she truly is one of those people that has an unstoppable story. And by the way, if you're one of those people with an unstoppable story, we are looking for guests as we go into the new year, into 2019. So if that is you and you want to be a part of the Unstoppable Story Show, then all you've got to do is just reach out to me at info@unstoppablecoaching.com. Info@unstoppablecoaching.com. Tell me a little bit about your unstoppable story, and who knows, you might be the next guest on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. I'm going to put that in the feed so that you guys, if you have a story that you want to tell, you can let me know. And the album, The Return. Yes, Pia Renee, that is the album. And we are still trying to connect with her to get her back in. So I am adding you. So as we bring it down to the home stretch, we're going to get in. I'm going to let her say her this pieces. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Listen, I want to say thank you to everybody for your patience as I duck in and out of this thing. I wasn't trying to, but I reset my timer so it will not be disrupting us again prior to the end of our live today. So thank you everybody for being patient and appreciating my music and my story, and of course Coach Terrance.
Yes. Thank you so much. We were playing we played a snippet of Mr. and Freedom song while you were jumping in and out. And I know you dropped out because you really just didn't want to show the world that you sung that to me and how you really feel about me. That's okay. I have that effect on people. What can I say? But for everybody else other than me, what's the song Mr. about?
Child, let me tell you, and it's so funny. It's about a coach named Terrance, and not you though.
Yes,
it wasn't you. Oh my God! So listen, when I started, when I actually went to Long Beach to record the album, I was dating this guy. I was so in love with him. Oh my God. I knew we was going to be something. We were going to be together. We work, we fit. So when I was in California recording the album, he was at this wedding in New Orleans, and things just wasn't feeling right. You get that intuition like, you took a little bit long to call today. What's up? So I mean, and that sounds very vague and kind of like preemptive to say, like, how do you know what the man doing? But to make a very long story short, I wrote and recorded Mr. the same day. I went to Long Beach to record something entirely different. But when we started the recording process, The Return is what I got. Like, the team that I worked with out in Long Beach, we just had such a great chemistry creatively that I had stuff written out that I wanted to record. None of that. We didn't do any of that. We created new stuff on the spot. And Mr. was born of my frustration with my then boo.
Okay. And then the next song, Freedom Song. So
Hmm.
you went from the frustration with your boo into the Freedom Song.
Yeah.
What's the Freedom Song about?
So Freedom Song is about my experience. Oh man, I gotta really go here. It was about my experience with the church. Like, like I said, I grew up in church. I've been Baptist, Kojic, apostolic, evangelical, non-denominational, Baptist. I've been in all of it. So,
Hmm.
like I said, I went through a period of time where I got really heavy into church, and it became a big part of my life. But then there was some things that went down within that part of my life and my walk and my experience that I I learned that everybody that's hollering Jesus ain't about that guy like that. They're not. And you can tell
No.
in how they treat you, how they treat and handle other
Yeah.
people. So I went through a period of time where I just felt like I lost my identity, like I lost myself. Because, like I said, I got so deeply immersed in church that became my identity. Working toward my destiny in Jesus became my identity. So when that was no longer a part of my life, I felt really lost, and I felt really like I didn't know who I was and what to do with myself. And Freedom Song was just like a big, smooth, Sly Stone vocal sound and middle finger to folks that have a form of godliness but no power. They say that they are of God, but they are of the synagogue of Satan, per Revelation 8.
Hello.
So it's like, yo,
Hello.
just because, I'm not. I don't want to minimize what I went through at that time, because it was
It was
epic.
deep.
It was deep, and I'm really still dealing with getting healing from a lot of it. But that was me. Like, I belong where I'm at. I belong anywhere God is, and He's everywhere. So nobody's gonna tell me, oh, you can't be here, or you can't do this, and you ain't this, and you that, and like, middle fingers up. Tell them, girl,
Yeah.
bye. So
Right.
that's what
Right.
that was. So
And
it was, go ahead. I'm sorry.
everybody who's doing hallelujah in the church ain't holy. So
Yeah.
let's just get that message out there.
Hmm.
And what I love about what you do is you sometimes to reach the masses, you've got to go through the back door, not through the front door. And what you are doing is you are giving them an experience. You're giving them the Pia Easley experience from afar, which makes them want to have a closer relationship with you. And now you get to share who you really are and what you really feel and what you really think on platforms like this. So I love the Jesus in you, and I love how he's using you to do it in a non-traditional way, and
Hmm.
that's what it's all about.
Hmm.
There are so many ways to reach hallelujah. It doesn't have to be one set way. Come on and try this way. If this way doesn't work for you, try this way.
Hmm.
And no way, there's no one way, no one size fits all. And I'm glad that you found a path that works for you, where you can still honor God by what you do as well as who you are. So I appreciate you for finding that, and looking good while you do
Thank you.
it. So tell us this as we wind it down, and I appreciate you for coming back, because I know you got a busy schedule. You probably got something that pressing to do.
I
You
do.
probably writing me another song after we get off. So
I
I
do.
got to let you go so you can write my next song.
That's so
Um,
funny.
but how can they get in contact with you and get a copy of this fabulous album called The Return?
Well, I am on all social media platforms under I am Pia Renee. My album is available on all digital music platforms: Google Play, iTunes. What else is another one?
CD Baby, right?
CD Baby. Goodness gracious. Title. I'm
Well, the best.
anywhere where folks consume music electronically. I'm there. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm everywhere. So if folks want an actual CD that's signed, if you catch me at an event, I can definitely give you one live and in the flesh. But if you want to order one, you can also order one from my website, which is piarenee.com, which is piarenee.com. And as you can see, Coach Terrance is rocking the return commemorative T-shirt with me looking like a stallion on the cover.
Yes, 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 yes. wearing it proudly. Think about you every time I put it on, and I really appreciate you, and I really respect you for not only what you've gone through, but how you've come out of it. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and
Hmm.
you are finishing strong, and you're showing the world that despite whatever you've been through, you are not able to be stopped. And that's what makes Pia Renee unstoppable. So I appreciate you. Anytime you want to come back on the Unstoppable Story Show, we're gonna have it right. We're gonna have it tight, and you have a seat here on the guests on the Unstoppable Story Show. Any final
Likewise.
words you want to share with our audience before you go?
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and staying tuned in, or tuning out and tuning back in, however it went for you. Thank you. And thank you, Terrance, for having me, and just, talking with you and with everybody. It's been it's showing me my growth and where I'm at, because before I did not like to do videos or to talk or to show my personality or show myself, because it's like, no, just listen to the music, don't know me, like, like, but I'm recognizing that it's okay to talk and to be candid, and to, because I have a lot of life experiences, and they are epic, as there's nothing like run of the mill about my life at all. Like, at
Yes.
all, and
And,
it needs to be talked
and
about.
absolutely. And you can just looking at some of these comments before you go. Arlene Collins says, blessings upon you, Pia. Continue to be you. Everyone else is taken. And thank you. Yes,
Come
absolutely.
on.
Michael Michael Freeland says, persevere, be blessed, proud of all that you have that is to come for you. Absolutely. And let's see. Someone else said they're looking forward to the album. Antoine Page said, I appreciate you for sharing her music and having her on the show. I'm very proud, Pia. So yeah, you've made a difference just in the coming in and coming out in this last hour. So
Yay.
keep keep sharing your message, keep sharing your music, and by all means, Pia, keep being unstoppable, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being the unstoppable crew that you are. I appreciate all of you. You could have been doing anything else on a Tuesday night. Hell, I know about 23,000 people that are hanging out with Michelle Obama, all right. But you,
Right?
the unstoppable people, you knew better. You knew that the quality show here called the Unstoppable Story Show was on the air, and I thank you for showing up each and every week. Part of Thankful Tuesday. We wouldn't have a show without you. So please share this to all the people that you know. You may know some artists that are struggling, that have given up. Maybe they have stopped or they're stuck because of their self esteem issues or because of the circumstances beyond their control in their life. And they don't think that they're going to have a chance to pursue the passion and the gift that's inside of them. Share this video with them and let them know that if Pia could do it, then maybe, just maybe, they can do it too. And we'll see you again next week here on the Unstoppable Story Show. We're going to have another phenomenal guest. We're going to be talking about gratitude with a phenomenal, did I say phenomenal speaker by the name of Joshua T. Berglund. You met him at the Power of We, Pia. So definitely looking forward to talking about gratitude next week. So come on back next week, and wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say as we go out on some more Pia Renee music. Don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day. Look at us spitting. Yeah. Have an unstoppable day, everybody.
Bye.